Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. Director Patel, many of us had grown, increasingly alarmed at the sheer number of foreign nationals we're seeing caught spying on our critical infrastructure or, near sensitive sites in the country. One example is a Chinese national who's flying a drone, allegedly flying a drone over Vandenberg and taking pictures of the base. He was arrested in the San Francisco airport not that long after. Director Patel, would you agree that the two most dangerous nation states to our homeland and our interests are China and Russia?
Yes, Congressman.
So it would stand to reason that we should pay particular attention when foreign nationals from these two countries, who we've already established are the greatest threats to our country now and in the future, when they try to sneak into our country illegally.
Absolutely, sir.
Can you speak on the illegal migration we see from Russia and China and the differences that we saw from the first Trump administration to the Biden administration?
Well, one, the problem you have when you have an effective resolution to that set of issues is that the enemy adapts. And what they've done is utilize, as we were just discussing with your colleague, the northern border to shift their resources and affiliations to pour in known or suspected terrorists through the northern border. They haven't stopped through the southern border. They just know that we are setting up a pretty monumental effort down there to stop any known or suspected terrorists from entering the country. But the thing is, the Chinese, the Russians, Iranians, and other adversaries are utilizing their partners, just like they are doing in terms of how they move illicit fentanyl precursors into this country. They're moving humans in the same fashion, and we need to treat it as such.
Did you see an increase?
Is the Chinese Communist Party secretly placing spies inside the U.S. government? Sounds like a movie plot, right? But it's real. Today, I'm diving into a shocking case involving a former New York governor's aide accused of working for China and what Kash Patel, former Trump official, has to say about it. And trust me, this isn't just about one person. This is part of a much bigger issue affecting national security. Before I break it all down, smash that like button and subscribe for future updates. Let's talk about Linda Sun. She was a senior aide in the New York governor's office, working directly under Governor Kathy Hochul. But instead of serving the American people, she was allegedly working for the Chinese Communist Party. Sun and her husband were charged with money laundering and acting as foreign agents for China. She used her government position to block Taiwanese officials from meeting with New York leaders while rolling out the red carpet for Chinese Communist Party representatives.
This isn't the first Trump administration to the Biden administration on Russian and Chinese nationals crossing the border. Did it increase or decrease?
Yes, actually, so the PRC nationals crossing the southern border from 22 to 25 was 178,000. And I don't have the number for the northern border, sir, but I'll get that to you.
So, what we found was that there was actually a market increase, alarming, with the Chinese illegal migration increasing 527% all in, and Russian 2,400%. And if just 1/10 of 1%, some tiny fraction, 1/10 of 1% are actually asset sleeper agents loyal to Moscow or Beijing, they could wreak havoc and mayhem in a free and open society. It's very dangerous. And then those are the ones we know about. What about the ones that snuck across and we never found them? The unknown gotaways, if you will. So, Director Patel, there's also great concern about the increasing number of counterintelligence threats that are penetrating all levels and branches of government, both local, state, and federal. The number of elected and appointed officials willing to betray this country is becoming increasingly pervasive. Last year, we saw a former senior aide in the New York governor's office, Linda Sun, and her husband, Chris Hu, indicted on charges of money laundering and acting as foreign agents to the People's Republic of China. Ms. Sun used her position to block.
This isn't just some small-time political scandal. This is CCP infiltration at the state level. But here's the real question. How deep does this go? This case is just the tip of the iceberg. Kash Patel, a national security expert and former Trump official, says the problem is much bigger than most people realize. He warns that the CCP is aggressively placing spies at all levels of U.S. government, local, state, and even federal. The goal? Influence policy, steal intelligence, and weaken America from within. Just last year, we saw a congressional staffer arrested for secretly working with China. And let's not forget the Dianne Feinstein spy scandal where her driver was a CCP asset for decades. If these cases are being caught, imagine how many spies are still operating in the shadows.
Her position to block
but here's where it gets
Taiwanese representatives from access to New York State officials. Instead, we're rolling out the red carpet for those PRC officials to have those meetings. I mean, that's some scary stuff. So when we have someone like Sue Mi Terry, who also worked covertly spying on Korea while working simultaneously with various think tanks, and she had been national security official, and she'd worked for the CIA and the National Security Council. And because of her job, members of Congress and their staffs had access to these Korean intelligence officials, and she was paid with, thousands of dollars in luxury gifts. But Director Patel, I get that these investigations are ongoing and sensitive. But to the extent that you can, could you please briefly highlight the severity of these counterintelligence threats, including a rough estimate of the number of open counterintelligence cases that are pending?
We have many, and I'll get you the exact number, sir, in closed session. But what it highlights is that the enemy is not relenting. They're actually doubling down and tripling down on their efforts, and there's no sector in government that they won't go to and try to infiltrate and penetrate access and turn people in this country against our own nation. So that is a national security threat of our time, as is the terrorism threat and as is the fentanyl threat. It needs to be treated as such equally, and at the FBI we're doing that.
Thank you.
But here's where it gets even scarier. China isn't just infiltrating the government, they're sending operatives across our borders. Kash Patel revealed that illegal migration from China has skyrocketed 527% in recent years. Now imagine this, if even 0.1% of those illegal crossings are CCP agents or Russian spies, we could have thousands of foreign operatives inside the U.S. right now. And that's just the ones we know about. The real number could be much higher. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is happening right now, and most of the media isn't even talking about it. So what's the government doing about this? Kash Patel says that the FBI has many counterintelligence investigations open, but here's the problem. The enemy isn't slowing down. China is doubling and tripling their espionage efforts. They're going after politicians, military officials, and even tech leaders. So the big...
Thank you. And Director Patel, will you commit to providing this committee with classified briefing on the severity, the FBI processes and procedures, including defensive briefings related to counterintelligence threats involving elected and or appointed officials?
For defensive briefings, Congressman, I commit to you that the FBI will give you everything we have in our holdings. I can't comment on other people's.
Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, I want to thank all the witnesses for being here, particularly Mr. John Ratcliffe, Congressional District 4 as well. I yield back.
Gentleman yields.
So the big question is, how do we fight back? Should the government tighten security screenings, crack down on illegal border crossings, arrest more foreign agents? Let me know what you think in the comments. This isn't just a political issue, it's a national security crisis. If the CCP is already inside our government, what's stopping them from expanding their influence even further? We need to stay informed, spread awareness, and demand action. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button. It really helps get this message out to more people. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives on national security, politics, and breaking news. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.